A big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. More about them coming up soon. What's up, fam, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new around here, welcome for the first time. My name is Marissa, and today I am sharing with you 10 minimalist habits that can transform your life. And I don't want you to get intimidated by the word minimalism, because minimalism is less about having white walls, empty rooms, and sleeping on the floor, and more about making space for the things that you love and value in your life. And I think that everyone can benefit from a little sprinkle of minimalism. So with that being said, let's dive into minimalist habit number 1, which is to set your intentions for each room. Have you ever decluttered your home only to find that the clutter is slowly creeping back in? If so, you might have missed out on one of the most crucial steps in creating a clutter-free home, which is to set the intention for your space. Setting your intentions for a room means thinking about your why and getting in touch with the purpose, the energy, and the feeling that you want to bring to that space. For example, our entryway is a place where we store our outerwear like coats and shoes, as well as things that we might need when we are going out like umbrellas, picnic blankets, and balls. So we want to have easy access to them on the way out, which means that it needs to be open and tidy so that my kids have room to put their shoes on in the morning and then to take them off and dump all of the sand that they bring home from the park so that we don't drag it through the house. And therefore we know that there is a place for everything and everything has its place. Watch. Shake it like a soul shake-up. And we don't want to fill up our entryway with a bunch of extra furniture or stuff that's going to spill out into the hallway, so that we have plenty of room to get ready and get out the door quickly and easily without tripping over a bunch of stuff or waste time hunting for things, because it's all right there at our fingertips. And by the way, I'd love to take a moment for you to drop me a comment down below and tell me what is your favorite space in your home and what are your intentions for that space. Have you ever thought about it? I look forward to reading your comments. Minimalist habit number 2 is the 1 in, 1 out rule. And the 1 in, 1 out rule is one of my favorite minimalist habits. All it means is that when you bring a new item into your home, you sell, donate, or give away a different item to help you maintain the equilibrium of total objects in your home. But really, you can think about this more as a guideline versus a rule. And you can modify it in so many ways. Not only can you swap items within the same category, such as books for books, clothing items for clothing items, you can also swap items across categories or increase the ratio of items going out to items coming in. So for example, you could do the 1 in, 2 out rule, or the 1 in, 4 out rule, which is something that I've talked about in my minimalist wardrobe video, because I found myself getting rid of 75% more items than I was buying. And speaking of buying, that brings us to minimalist habit number 3, which is to be more intentional with your buying. You're gonna find it a lot easier to keep the clutter out of your home in the first place, rather than having to spend the time and energy decluttering it once it gets into your home. Something I like to do is when I'm thinking about buying something new, I will write it down, either in a notepad or in the notes on my phone, and I will think about it for 30 days. And if you want that item after 30 days, then you can feel free to buy that item. And even if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, I found that if you take the time to write things down and let it simmer for a little bit, sometimes you'll find that the exact thing that you wanted just magically appears in your life, which is what happened recently when my husband and I finally found the perfect art piece to hang above our dining room table. We had been on the hunt for something to put in that space for a while, but we really wanted to make sure it was something that not only complemented the pieces already in our home, but that also felt meaningful to us. My husband kept saying that he wanted a painting, but I told him that we needed something textural to balance the space. And what do you know, we found 2 separate pieces that I was able to combine into one 3-dimensional wall art piece to make a stunning addition to our dining room. So what do you think about it?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I hope so.
I mean, we haven't found anything like this, right?
It seems very special.
Very special. This is a surprise find.
Yeah, totally a surprise. And who found it?
You.
I have to admit, I am not someone who is naturally good at decorating or interior design, so I'd like to take a minute to just thank Skillshare for helping me hone my skills in this area. Skillshare is an online learning platform with thousands of inspiring and creative classes on topics such as photography, productivity, gardening, and more. I have to admit that I'm slightly obsessed with learning, and if you're anything like me, Skillshare is the perfect place to expand your knowledge or learn new skills. I've taken several classes, but the last one was Style Your Space by Emily Henderson, and I really appreciate how Emily encourages you to think outside of the box and not be afraid to shop secondhand or mix and match styles to create a space that you adore. And the fun quiz that Emily provided helped me think more about my personal style, which I found out is a mix of contemporary, bohemian, and zen. Right now, the first 1,000 people to use the link in the description box below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare premium membership so you can start exploring your creative side today. Thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Minimalist habit number 4 is knowing how to maintain your stuff. When you treat the things that you own with care and affection, that means that they're going to last longer, and you're going to have to spend less time, energy, and money replacing them in the future. Things like knowing how to launder fabrics properly, or having a small electric fabric shaver to freshen up your old clothes by removing piling. Even something as simple as being able to make small mends like fixing seams that rip on your children's clothing is another great minimalist habit to nurture. Minimalist habit number 5 is to keep surfaces clear. I find this one of the hardest minimalist habits to keep up, mainly because flat surfaces seem to be absolute magnets for clutter. The flat surfaces that are the biggest clutter magnets in our home are the entryway, our dining room table, and the kitchen countertop. And I make it a habit to try and put things away either right after we use them or at the end of the day when I'm doing one last tidy session before we go to bed. Because the more things that sit out on those flat surfaces, the more clutter that's going to get pulled to that spot. And that brings us to minimalist habit number 6, which is to use containers to help you corral the clutter. Going back to those flat surfaces, there are just times when you are not able to put every single thing away, whether it's because of space limitations or because you use them too often. No matter what, in these situations, it can be very helpful to use containers to help you set boundaries for your clutter. When you use a container, this creates a barrier that can stop clutter from spreading to other areas and corrals it to a single location. I used a small wooden bowl that I thrifted ages ago to make a nice little bin on our entryway shelf to store our sunscreen, hand sanitizer, and some other things in the entryway. And then when my kids started taking martial arts classes, I found that their sparring gear was constantly spreading back out and all over the living room because they were always coming out there to play with it. So what I did was I put a nice little basket woven out of seagrass in our living room corner to hold their gloves and headgear. And that way they can easily grab it when they want to spar for fun or when we need to head to class. Minimalist habit number 7 is to tidy as you go. Tidying as you go means taking a few extra moments here and there when you notice things out of place or something that needs to be done to take care of it at that moment rather than waiting and allowing the task to pile up on you at the end of the day. When I'm cooking dinner and I'm bringing out the ingredients and I'm putting them together, once I'm done with them, then I put them back where they go, and that helps me keep my work surface clear. It's a lot easier to exert a smaller amount of effort here and there as you go, rather than needing a lot of energy to take care of everything at the end of the day. Because let's face it, that's usually when we're the most tired. At least I am. Minimalist habit number 8 is to own less. Sure, decluttering is great, but sometimes finding creative ways to own less is even better. For example, I got rid of almost all of my hair care products, and now when I want curly hair, all I do is use my bathrobe tie to make rag curls. And if you take the time to think outside of the box, you'll really find that you need much less stuff than you think you do. Minimalist habit number 9 is to turn off notifications, and this is one of the best things that I have done for myself in the past year. I did a video on how to declutter and organize your phone apps, and at that point I disabled almost all of my social media notifications that were constantly pinging me throughout the day. And instead what I did is I set out specific times during the day for me to sit down and take the time to respond to comments on Instagram or YouTube instead of jumping and checking my phone every time I heard a ping. It can be hard to fight that FOMO feeling, but it's a lot better in the long run for you to protect your time and also your mental health and energy. And the final minimalist habit is to let go. And I'm not just talking about physical clutter, but I'm also talking about mental clutter and emotional clutter and toxic people. It's okay to make to-do lists, but it's also important to question your to-do lists and realize that not everything needs to be given the same amount of attention or effort or even be done at all. And when you let go of the things that don't matter, you create more time, space, and energy for the things that do matter in your life. I hope you enjoyed this list of life-changing minimalist habits. If you did, please make sure to give this video a like. And if you're looking for more ideas on how to declutter your home, live more minimally, save a little bit more money, make sure to go check out one of these videos, and I'll see you again next week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.